My wife promised we'd build our best life together, then cheated on a business trip. So I left and lived the life we dreamed of, while she watched from a place of regret. Hello Reddit I plus here. I still remember the day Lila looked me in the eye and said, no matter what life throws at us, we're going to live our best lives together. That moment felt sacred. It was a promise, a vow that went beyond marriage. I was 31, she was 29, and we'd already been together for 6 years, married for 4. We didn't want children, by choice, not by chance. Our life plan was filled with adventure, travel, creative passion projects, and someday a small house by the lake where we'd wake up to birds and silence. We never disagreed on the future. Not once. It always amazed me how aligned we were, like 2 pages from the same book. But life has a cruel way of turning the people you love into strangers. Lila started a new job in February, a step up in her field, something she'd worked hard for. The job required training trips, the first of which lasted 2 weeks. She came back excited, refreshed, and unusually chatty about this new colleague, Mason. She said he was smart, a good listener, the kind of guy who actually reads the Bible and understands it. I'm not religious, never have been. Lila always respected that. But now suddenly, she was quoting scripture like it meant something more than faith, like it was a secret only the 2 of them shared. I wasn't suspicious at first. I've never been the jealous type. Lila had always been surrounded by men in our field, engineers mostly. I trusted her. She was my best friend, my partner, but things started to shift. They started texting constantly, outside of work hours late at night. When I asked her about it, she brushed it off with a gentle smile. Mason? No, he's just a friend. You don't have to worry about him. That became her refrain. In March, I asked her again. She reassured me again. If it bothers you, I'll stop talking to him. I don't want anything or anyone to come between us. But deep down, I knew she wouldn't. She had another training trip scheduled at the end of the month, and Mason would be there. Around that time, I started asking her if she was truly happy in our marriage. If anything felt off, she kept telling me I was the best thing that had ever happened to her. I clung to that. Then came April. That's when everything started to fall apart. The second training trip lasted nearly 5 weeks. The first few days were fine. We texted, we FaceTimed, but then she started pulling away. Our conversations became colder, distant. We argued, not constantly, but enough for it to feel like something was breaking. I was going through a rough patch mentally, and I know I wasn't the easiest person to deal with, but I also felt like I was losing her, and I couldn't understand why. Eventually, she asked for space. She told me she still loved me, but not in the same way. Those words echoed in my head, not in the same way. I couldn't make sense of it. I gave her space, hoping it would help. I wanted to believe she just needed time. But then, in the middle of a FaceTime call, she said it, calmly. I think we should get a divorce. I froze. She came back home in mid-May. I drove to the airport to pick her up. I stood there like an idiot, holding flowers. When I saw her, my stomach dropped. Her eyes, once so familiar, looked through me like I was a stranger. She barely said hello. No hug, no warmth. When we got home, she didn't unpack. That night, she sat me down and said the words again. I want out. I don't love you anymore. I was crushed, but I held on to hope. I told myself maybe it was just the stress, the distance, the fighting. I wanted to fight for us. But the next day, she was different, almost robotic. She said she wanted to clean the house and make nice memories before leaving. Who says that? My instincts screamed. Something was off. I did something I never thought I'd do. I went through her phone. 7 years together. Never once had I looked, but I had to know. What I found broke me. She hadn't just started seeing Mason. They were already living together. Or about to. They'd signed a lease in April, barely a month after her trip began. She'd told him she was ready to leave everything behind. Me, our home, our plans, to start a new life with him. She'd never stopped the relationship after our arguments. She had just stopped being honest. I took screenshots of their chats, every message, every confession, and I said nothing. I wanted to see how far she'd go with her lies. In our final days together, I asked her gently, even desperately, for the truth. She denied everything, said I was paranoid, said I was the controlling one. Controlling? I couldn't believe it. I'd spent our entire relationship asking her how I could make her life better. On her last night in our home, we fought. She blamed me for everything, said my emotional ups and downs drove her away. But I knew the truth. She left that night, suitcase in hand, and didn't look back. After she left, I sent her the screenshots. No words, just the proof. She replied. We only started dating after I asked for the divorce. It wasn't cheating. Then she said something that still haunts me. I've been wanting to leave for a long time. I just didn't know how. I wanted to scream. 7 years of love. And she had been waiting for the right moment to walk away? I still don't understand how someone can change so completely, so fast. One day, she was my wife, my partner in everything, and the next, a ghost wearing her face. But here's the thing, she made a promise that we'd live our best lives. And even though she broke it, I'm still holding on to my part of the deal. I left, I rebuilt, I traveled, I reconnected with old friends. I smiled again. Real, deep, belly laughs I hadn't felt in years. I'm living the life we imagined, not because of her, but in spite of her. And from what I hear, she's not doing so well. Regret is a heavy anchor to drag around. She gave up the life we built for a fantasy, and I kept the foundation to build something better for myself. So if you're reading this, and you're where I was, broken, confused, unsure how someone you loved could betray you like this, I promise, there is life after heartbreak. Sometimes the person you thought would be your forever is just the lesson you needed to meet your true beginning. The divorce went through faster than I expected. 3 months after Lila walked out of our home, the same home we'd designed together, argued over curtain colors for, danced barefoot in the kitchen after late-night takeout, it was officially over. I signed the papers on a Tuesday morning. There was no ceremony, no big final moment, just my name on a line, and that was it. 7 years of love, commitment, and shared dreams, dissolved in a few pages of legal ink. It hurt, not because I still loved her, that part had started to fade, but because I had to grieve the future we'd built in our heads. The lake house, the road trips, the quiet mornings drinking coffee while the dogs snored at our feet. But grief can be a strange thing. Some days it whispers, other days it crashes like a storm. I let it all hit me. I didn't numb it. I faced it head on, and slowly, I started to heal. I started going to the gym regularly, not to impress anyone, just to feel like myself again. I traveled alone for the first time in years. I hiked in the Rockies. I stood at the edge of cliffs and realized how small I was, and how big the world still was without her. I found peace in silence, joy in solitude, and eventually I found clarity. That's when Lila came back. It started with a message. Just one. Hey, I know I'm probably the last person you want to hear from, but I hope you're doing okay. I stared at it for a while, didn't respond. Then came another, a few days later. I made a mistake. I ignored that one too, but she didn't stop. One afternoon she showed up at my place. I opened the door, and there she was, standing there like a ghost from a different lifetime. Hair tied back, no makeup, her eyes red. She looked nothing like the version of herself that left me at the airport. "Can we talk?" she asked. I let her in. Not because I missed her, but because I needed to hear what she had to say, and I think, deep down, I wanted her to hear what I had to say, too. She told me it didn't work out with Mason, that he wasn't who she thought he was, that the fantasy of freedom she'd chased quickly turned into loneliness, that she missed me, missed us, missed the peace we had. She started to cry, apologized, said she wasn't thinking straight when she left, that she ran from something good because she didn't know how to handle the guilt of her emotional affair. "I still love you," she whispered. I let the silence hang. Then I said, "You don't love me. You miss what I gave you. Stability, loyalty, a safe place. You didn't love me enough to protect what we had, and I can't be the man you come back to after you've burned everything down." She looked like she'd been slapped, but I wasn't angry. I was calm, in a way I hadn't been in months. "I'm not your safety net anymore," I said. "You walked away from us, and I've been rebuilding without you. I'm not the man you left behind, and I'm not the man who's going to let you come back like nothing happened." Tears filled her eyes. She reached for my hand, but I didn't offer it. "I hope you find what you're looking for," I told her. "But it's not here." She left, and this time, I didn't watch her go. Since then, I've moved forward, fully. I've met new people. I've laughed harder than I have in years. I've gone on dates that felt like the first time all over again. I've stood in the mirror and liked the man looking back at me. Because the truth is, some people come into your life to teach you how to love, and some come to teach you how to love yourself enough to walk away. Lila taught me both. She taught me how deep love can run, and how quickly it can be destroyed by lies. But she also taught me that healing is not about who hurt you, it's about who you become after. And me, I became someone I'm proud of, and that's something no one can take from me again.